To me, like cell sesh just kind of makes sense, but I don't know. You can always switch back. Um, yeah. While we're letting this thing cook, um, yeah, I gotta say, this thing it's nice. I really do enjoy it. The Solo 3 is something. Like, it's just so clean, it's so powerful. Just, I am truly such a fan. I'm gonna take a first take here. Mhm. This thing definitely chucks. Yeah, flavor's still pretty solid. Consistent on this. It's very solid. There's definitely a technique to it though. I think. Um, and another thing about this is they do it. This is a hybrid heating oven, so 20% of this is convection. Um, sorry, conduction. Whereas 80% is convection, so it's all in through the draw. So you can really let it sit and bake in here, and just heat up a little bit before you take a hit. Um, as you can see, you can get some good hits. Um, there's definitely this bud is pretty moist, I would say. So there's definitely it could be more cloudy. Yeah, you're gonna see some real milk and some real clouds with the on the main mode. I think that's where a lot of the clouds come out. I will say something not a lot of people are saying is the flavor is very interpretive. Like if you're not a frequent smoker, the weed, the herb smell will it'll be very difficult because if you're a smoker, then this thing is going to be amazing. This thing is going to be so delicious, and you're going to be like, "Wow, that's so terpene, so beautiful." If you're not, and like, let's say you're hanging out with a friend, and I do this frequently. I hang out with friends that aren't big smokers, or they're not big in the weed, or they're not enthusiasts. They do it, and they try, and they're like, "Wow." And stuff like this. This is very weedy. This is going to taste very strong to them. And it's going to be very difficult, and they're going to cough a lot because of all the terps, right? So, for the average person, to just hand them this, it's going to be difficult for them to just kind of actually sip on this. Even for me in the beginning session mode, I'm very sensitive to smells, and session mode was very intense for me. It wasn't a bad taste, it was just very intense. Sometimes, and with the right, if you have bad bud, it can just be. See, it's very much about technique with this one. The way you breathe in is important. But like with the average session, just bringing this out with a friend. I mean, I still need to do some more testing with other people, but before I get my full reviews, thoughts into this. But if I hand this to the average person, they might have. My conclusions are they would have trouble with just being able to handle the session. The on demand mode, though, pretty much anyone can take it in through a water piece. It's just not as convenient. This is very convenient. You can sit back, you know, relax while you work. As you can see, it's convenient. The stems are this thing is very much a home device. It's very not super portable. I have not tested a lot of other portables, but they all seem much more portable compared to this. This was my first portable or electric dry herb bait. My first dry herb bait was a den bat. This though is, yeah. People say a lot of stuff about the stems. They're like, it's not portable. It's this is I do not primarily use this on the home. I have gone hiking with this though. It is doable. Funny enough, the only reason I stopped using it while hiking, or at least during the hike I was on, is because it was snowing pretty hard, and I didn't want it to melt. But I would have that problem with any other device. It is definitely not mega portable though. Like this would not be used in like a Target. I don't know if you could use a dry herb bait in public anyways, or at least in stores. I wouldn't recommend it, but they're very smelly. But as far as this one goes, it's definitely portable for like a hike or something. But just if you need something on the go, like you need something on the go, small, super pocketable, fits in a purse or something, or smaller pockets. I don't think this is it. I don't think this is it. If you need something like that, if you don't though, then this is pretty. This is I mean, if you're fine, like just like this is still portable. Don't get me wrong, but it definitely it really chucks. It really gets you there. You can turn it up really high. I think I haven't even been able to tolerate session mode until recently, but I do enjoy the option to have both so much. Because I've mostly done edibles up until this point. Like the large majority of my life, I've been doing edibles, and then only until recently, some friends introduced me to smoking for the first time. I actually hadn't smoked until this year for the first time. So that's another thing I don't like about this vape, is it has an auto shut off like every 20 minutes, and there's no way to disable that. Like I think a simple firmware patch, little update, would fix just about everything I don't enjoy about this vape. I think that would benefit it so much. Some people have said it's a downside that it doesn't have the app connectivity. Like technically, yeah, it doesn't have Bluetooth like the Venti does, but I think it's terrible. Like I think that's I think it's great. I mean, if you need to use another device to be able to properly operate your device, I just don't think that's a very good design. Like if I need to use my phone to properly operate it, like if you can't just fit the menu and all the buttons in there into the device, then that just, then that's a design flaw. And I hate having to tinker around at the phone, and like it should not have to use Bluetooth. And with the new company that bought out Stores and Pickle, it seems they're not honoring as many warranties as they should. And with how the Venti is just getting melted, I don't know, just disappointing to see. But it's glad there's some companies in the vaporizer world that are still respectable. It is about the same temperature Supin's had his Lobo at when he was like chucking clouds. to rewatch the footage, but just based off like what I saw, it seems like his Lobo is checking way more clouds than my Solo. Now, obviously, they're way different price ratios, and this should be in a class of its own. But just based off what I saw from the footage, but that said, the Lobo's like oven is like initially 0.2 grams, whereas this is 0.1, if not less. So he had twice the flour packed in. So that probably helps. So the fact that I'm like getting just about as with that, with the same with half the flour is pretty impressive on its own, right? No, that's pretty solid. I think it might be finished. It's cached. Yep. We are going to switch this. By the way, a lot of people divide these two modes into two separate categories. You got session mode and on-demand mode. People are like, on-demand mode. This is the piece to use with a water piece, or bubbler. It's true, but you can use session mode with a bubbler too. I think I've done it once, and it was okay. It feels odd because sure you can do it solo, but I'm not sure why. But if on demand, you can just really pump out more of what you want, more vapor, bigger hits, and at the same time, it just seems like so why do session mode? And you're not even if you have a small water piece, which most of mine are small. um, you're not really just sitting on the couch like handing a water piece between people. Like no, not you know what? No, I have in circles handed even big water pieces between people, but it's like in a session though. Like normally you do the hit and then you sit down and relax. You don't like do the hit with the bomb. Like if you're just handing this between people, that's something else. But like as a session mode and like with a piece, it just I don't know, it's interesting. See, that's the thing. That's the thing I love about this is it has so many options. It doesn't really overwhelm you. I'm not like, oh, this sucks, or this is like, oh, oof, like I'm so confused. It just like if I can do my favorite way to do it all the time, but I have options. Like if a friend comes over, hey, I can do a water piece. Like it's just a luxury of having options. Like being able to say, hey, let's switch to a water piece, or hey, let's sit down, and play a game, and do a session, and just or doing an XL stim, doing a bigger one. Just about having those options. Um, that, that's one of the things that really makes vapes like this so great. On the main mode, hit level 3. I feel like level 3 is good. Someone else said this. I am not gonna have time to finish. But but sorry, I'm not have time to finish. But someone else said that I think level 4 is kind of the max I can do it and keep the herb like perfectly intact and like roasted brown. I have never combusted with the Solo 3. I've had some issues in different bits, but I've never actually had ash or combusted. Nor have I with the Dinavap. On the Dinavap, I had way more issues, but I never combusted. Maybe combusted once on the Dinavap. On this, never. I've gotten pretty dark. See, that's why I feel comfortable going to level 5s, because I have never even gotten close to combusting. But I've also always tucked it underneath the lip. Tuck the bud, as you're supposed to. But never combusted. I think level 4 though is pretty much like if you're wanting to keep it chill. Level 4 is 4 keeps it nice and brown, very intact, and that's like that's like the most you can milk it to, before it starts getting like black and completely toasted. So if you're kind of elitist like that, not elitist, you know, if you don't want your herb to get too black or destroyed, and keep it at level 4. But I mean, I feel like for me, level 3 is where I can still really taste it. I can get some really turkey hits. At level 3, I'll temperature step it. A lot of people do that. Temperature step it. I'll take it out, and then I'll do some lower level 3 hits, and then do like one more level 3 hit, just because I feel like I'm really not even seeing the vapor. And then we're going to then temperature step it to a higher one, so we see more vapor, and then so forth. But I think we're going to just keep it at level 4. That's this nice countdown for you. Not a countdown. This is a countdown until it heats up. When the oranges build, you're good. It's good to go, and then it starts going white, and you're good to go until it's done. That's a very nice hit. Very milky, as you can see. I'm going to step it up to level 4. No coughing. Still, some residual tickle. That hit me pretty hard. And then I do find you have to finish it off pretty quickly. Or just kind of keep doing these. Because if not, you lose a lot of it. You lose a lot of vapor production if you don't finish it quickly. We do it back to back, so we're gonna finish it and we're gonna end it up. But so far, it heats up really quickly too, just back to back. That was huge. See, just back to back, just. See, back to back, this thing ripped. This thing rips. It has outsmoked me. It's so powerful. when you want it to, it just the dual batteries just you just keep on going. Still, a lot of visible vapor production, which is quite impressive for how long this has been going. For how little material's gone in. We're going to step it up to level 5. I'm going to demonstrate that. I feel like I've already gotten most. I did cast the stem. Like I said, got to do it pretty quick to get that vapor. So, yeah, just slide it on out. It's good. See, we did go up to level 5, so it's a bit brown, but still pretty perfectly cooked. I do not have an actual grinder, embarrassingly enough at this point, so my grind is terrible. But that said, it's still pretty perfectly cooked. And the stems are so easy to clean. I really messed them up, though, accidentally. I say that they're so easy to clean, but as a doofus, I wash them in a metal pan. Don't do that. I wash glass in a metal pan. Especially nice glass like this. They give you a lot of stems. So hopefully I didn't mess all of them up. But I did order some more from Snicky Pete's, or the Great White North Vaporizer Shop. So, yeah, I'm excited to try those high airflow stems. But it did pretty much perfectly cook it. Even, you see, when you go to level 5, it does get a bit toasty. But still, my only real complaint is the auto shut-off feature. I don't know why. Like, I get maybe it's a safety thing, but it's like, come on, I'm not gonna forget about it. You know, at least let me set it to like an hour, or at least, at minimum, like if it can actively control the temperature while I'm using it and while airflow is passing through it, you know, in real time. If it can do that, then it can sure as hell make sure that it doesn't shut off while I'm actively using it. You know, it can at least detect that. So the fact that it hasn't is just. But outside of that, this thing is it rips. And I really like to see it. But yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you like the sesh. And yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Thank you. This is kind of a test run, but yeah, I guess we'll see how this video.